Welcome to the Building Doors Podcast, where we're not just pushing for opportunities for women's voices to be heard, we're creating them. I'm Christy Harst, voiceover actor and creator of the Building Doors campaign. Join us as we amplify voices, break barriers, and build doors together.
You are live, ma'am.
Hey, y'all, hey.
Let's talk.
Let's do it. How y'all doing out there? Hope y'all doing good. Welcome to Building Doors Instagram, LinkedIn Live for this month. And we are doing Booked and Busy, baby, and what comes next. I'm your host, Kaili Turner, and today we're diving into all of the topics. Booked and busy and how to sustain that lifestyle, having a work-life balance, and how to do self-care when you're doing so much, all right? So I'm here and I'm thrilled to be joined by one of my good Judies, my faves, Arlene McGruder.
Hey, live.
With all of the titles, because we are multi-hyphenates up in here. So Miss Arlene is an actress, a producer, a writer. She's a co-founder of BlackHERthePen. Yes, darling, we are doing all the things. You know, this is just a little side.
And let's correct it. It's BlackHERthePen.
Yeah, that's what I said, BlackHERthePen. It might have been my accent. It probably didn't come out right.
BlackHERthePen.
Yes, I probably said it too fast, so it probably didn't sound clear. But I just want to, before I continue on the intro, I just want to throw out real quick that Miss McGruder, weren't you just nominated for Best Actress for a short film that is going on the circuit right now?
Well, yes. Yes. Why, yes. The short film that I was just nominated for Best Female Performance is entitled Laundry. And I've been given that nomination for the upcoming Urban Fest 360-degree film festival down in Orlando, the weekend of September 20th through the 21st. So yes, that's really exciting. And actually Laundry has been doing really, really good on the festival circuit. So yeah, I'm excited. I got my little first nomination for actress. That's
right. And we're definitely going to dig into that.
I did my thing in there.
Yes, we're going to dig into all of that in a few moments. Mm-hmm. So we want this to be an interactive conversation. So please drop your thoughts, your questions, your comments, and we will be checking the chat throughout this event because we want to talk. We want to hear what you got to say. And we would love to hear you beyond the live. So feel free to call 216-307-1917 anytime during this event or after this event. And you can leave a short voicemail with your thoughts on today's discussion with the Building Doors campaign. And before we get started, I also want to give a special shout out to some of our supporters who recently brought us some coffee. So many thanks to the monthly subscribers. Sandy, I'm so sorry if I butcher your name. And my name is Kaili. I get my name butchered all the time, so it's no shade. Sandy Harrison Cooksey, Marion Mills, and John Lano. And if you love the Building Doors campaign, our live events, or our podcast, you can buy us coffee at buymecoffee.com/buildingdoorsvo.
Yay! Hey, thank you, people. Oh, and thank you for loving these glasses because a sister is just trying to see.
Yeah.
But, I just want to look good in the process. Yes.
Always, I will say, always with the glasses. McGruder always got the glasses popping, and the fashion is Nista-ing, always. So, booked and busy, which I definitely have to say you are. I feel like you are doing your thing here, there, and everywhere, and I love to see it. We love to see our friends rising and shining. And so, before we jump into some of the topics. And you kind of gave a little bit. I would love for us to give like a little bit of background. Ooh, gagging over the earrings, honey. Yeah, love to see it.
Gag, baby, gag.
We might also have to drop some links into like where to purchase these items.
Let me tell you, now see, you wouldn't get much information on where to purchase because, honey, these have been like the streets of New York from years ago. That's the shopping I do for these. But thank you very much.
I know that's right. Whether you hit those African markets, whether you 125th, downtown Brooklyn,
Or Slim Bob who just walking back and he got his little case there with earrings on.
Exactly.
He works too.
Exactly.
3 for
It's the
10.
magic of New York. The magic and the hustle of New York. And speaking of hustle,
Yes.
so what are some of the projects that you have going on right now? Give us a little bit of background on some of the things that you got popping that you have this title, Booked and Busy.
Okay, actually right now, as I had previously mentioned, we do have Laundry. It's on the film festival circuit right now. We just left Bronze Lens Film Festival down in Atlanta, where our lead actor, Tobias, was nominated for a Best Actor award down there. Hey, Tobias. Our director, Okima, is around here winning all the awards for Directors Awards. But along with that, but it won't be out until next year. But a couple of weeks ago, I just shot a national campaign for a really big nonprofit organization. It'll be digital, commercial, live, print. So I just can't say the name, but it's for their 2026 campaign. So I have that coming out next month. Well, I keep thinking we're in September, but in October.
We basically are. We kind of are.
I tell you, this year is moving quick. I don't know if it's because of my age or what, but the things are moving quick. But in October 16th, to be exact, I'm going to be doing it's a short theater piece that's sponsored by the Flatbush Community Center, and it's called The Prize. And so, yeah, I have that coming up. So I'm a little excited.
Yeah.
I'm a little excited, and I still, and I am still doing the plantation gig. For those who are listening, the plantation gig is the gig that you have to do, not that you want to do, but the bills still need to be paid.
I know that's right. In between time, when the gigs aren't gigging, you have to make sure that you have.
Yeah, my landlord's like, "Ooh, that's good. You doing that, but honey."
Exactly. Where's the rent?
Where's the rent?
Yes. Speaking of the rent, so a couple of things that I have going on is I also recently did a
couple of things. Yes. Okay, she can't stay put, but go ahead.
I mean, some of it's also personal, but So I also just did a commercial not too long ago. I can say it because it's aired and it's done its thing for Booking.com. I did a cute little fun commercial where they flew me out to Thailand, which was really fun. That was a great, cute little work vacation, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then it ended up being a Super Bowl commercial. So that was awesome. Was I in the cut for the Super Bowl? No. But that's still okay because it's cute.
You still got that check.
I did. I still got that Super Bowl check. And we're not mad at it. I'm really excited because a play that I have been involved with for, oh my goodness, I think it's been about 4 years now, called The Nosebleed, which is by a wonderful, amazing playwright and director, Aya Ogawa. We are about to go back on tour. It's an Obie Award-winning play, and we've been on tour, and we're about to go back on tour and do Seattle and Japan. So I am super psyched about that. So that's coming up in November. So yeah, so those are some things that I've been working on or projects that I've been a part of that keep me booked and busy. So I'm super excited about that. And it looks like we have a cute little question. Okay. Mm-hmm. Bonita Voice asks, I have a traditional job and I'm building my VO acting career. Any suggestions for self-care when I'm busy in several directions? Oh yes, honey. Believe me, we are getting to self-care. We are going to get there because, ooh, honey, yes. We definitely have some things about self-care. But really quickly, because we're going to get there, we're going to land with self-care, honestly. But I want to take this plane off with sustaining that booked and busy lifestyle, right? So, Arlene, what are some things that you do to sustain your acting or producing or writing career? And what does that look like for you? Like, how do you get to your next gig?
I think like most of us out here that's red race, this business of acting, the things that I do is I just could try to continue to put myself out there. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing to have an agent or a manager to help you get bookings. But an agent or a manager gets between 10, 20%. Most agents 10, managers sometimes can go from 15 to 20% of whatever booking that you get. So what's that? That's 80% the most likely, the other half of the other part of that. So that means that 80% of your career, you're out there really doing the hustle. They're getting 10%. So they're doing about 10 and 20% of the work, but the most of it is yourself. So I look for gigs wherever. Actors Access, which is a great resource for any actor out there now. A lot of casting directors are on Actors Access, and that's where they do a lot of their postings, not just, or I'm based in New York. We are based in New York, but it's not just in New York. They got the Southeast, they have the Midwest, they have out in LA. So I go on there, I search that. If you into theater and you do theater, there's always Backstage, and you can do Backstage, which has a lot of non-union work. I am part of the Screen Actors Guild, but I'm not part of the AEA yet, which is the Actors Equity organization. So a lot of my work is groundwork. It's just pure D groundwork, hustle, building connections. I got Laundry, the short film, because of my good friend director who's the director and also recommended, because you know what? And they had me audition too. I'm like, she's my friend. She's my friend. Y'all making me audition. But
and I helped you with that audition. I was the reader for that audition.
Yeah. She always try to she always thinks she's gonna get paid, but okay. I'm like, hey, you anything, Kylie. But a lot of my sustaining is just pure D hustle and grind, and that's what I've been doing. Like I said, I do work a regular gig. So in between that, when I come home, hey, I'm scouring, looking for work. I myself is just getting into voiceovers. I'm actually doing classes now here. So even now, just learning and looking at different organizations like voiceover spots and learning and reading out loud their magazines, to help me with voiceover. Hey, commercial copy. I read that. That's how I say sustain. So when I am ready to put that voiceover reel together, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yes. And I think there's a quick question here about like whether or not we're in a union. So as Arlene just said, Arlene is a part of SAG, and I'm non-union all the way. I could join AEA if I wanted to, but I have chosen not to as of yet.
Right.
Not for any particular reason, honestly, but I probably will join soon, just so I don't gotta, so I can just show up to an audition if I feel like it. But lately I've been blessed where I've been invited to audition for things, so I don't really have to submit, or, I've been, or people just call, you just got invited too, girl. So what you
I had to audition though.
I still got to audition. I've been invited to the, final audition, but, so that's been nice. People are asking, what's your plantation grade?
Okay, I'll tell you my plan. Okay, I'm gonna get to you, but someone asked me, Arlene, what would you say to a woman who is in voiceover or acting who thinks they are too old and all the roles are for 20 to 30 years old? Baby, I don't think, honestly. I just go out there and do me. I am a woman of a certain age, and that age is 64. I'll be 65 in December. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I've actually auditioned for roles in my age group, and I've been told, oh, but you don't read that, especially for camera. More so when I was in my 40s, and I would go out for roles that would say, 50-year-olds, which that ain't that far off, 40 to 50-year-olds, and they were like, nah, you don't read 50. I'm like, okay, but I am 50. Mm-hmm. This is what 50 is. So I actually can't really get boggled down with what the industry is saying is the age. I just, I get submitted for the age group, and a lot of it is arbitrary too. Because a lot of the times the casting people really don't know what they're really looking for.
No, that's right. I know that's right. They're
going out for roles that say 70 years old.
Yeah.
70, but I get submitted by man.
I would say if you're within the age range, I mean, obviously, like, don't be like 50 submitting for 20 to 30-year-olds. But if it's within an age range that you fit, just do it. Just submit. Mm-hmm. Because the thing that I do love about acting is, and even though as women,
just by looking,
even as women, we do have it harder because men are always going to be able to get a role, honey. They're always going to get a role. They can always still be the leading man. They're always still going to be deemed handsome and all of that. But the thing that I do love about acting is that there still has to be the mom, there still has to be the grandma, the abuela, there still has to be the, the older aunties and things of that nature. And although I feel like we've definitely shifted, I mean, definitely in my lifetime, things have shifted.
Yeah, definitely.
We start to see more real people, and we also start to see more people of color, more, LGBTQ plus, you know what I mean? Like things have become, I'm scared to say the word diverse because the whole internet might shut down, baby. The whole internet might shut down, baby. But yeah, you gotta you can't worry about the naysayers because there's always gonna be naysayers, and
it's gonna always be something.
Yep.
I mean, and don't think that you don't feel it, because even when I was younger, I was like, oh, I know, and I've always been full figured. So it was always, is it always going to be just the skinny girls? It's always something. Or I've always been bald. I mean, not this shaven, but I've always been natural. I've always kind of been bald. So it's always something that you can think a reason why you don't get picked for something, or am I to this? Am I to that? But honestly, all of that is out of your control.
Exactly.
All I can do is when they say come and audition, or if I get submitted and I have to do that self-tape, all I can do is submit my best tape, send it in. Once it's sent in, tear up the sides.
Yeah.
And for those who are listening, the sides are the audition lines. Tear up the sides and move on to the next. Yeah. I am not FICOR, but I am SAG-AFTRA, who asked about if I was FICOR. I'm not FICOR. Thought about it at one time when I had no funds and didn't have that plantation gig either. But then I was like, nah. Fought too hard to get to that point, so I didn't want to go FICOR. My plantation gig, I am retired from Delta Airlines, but the gig I do now, I work for American Express in the Centurion Lounge at the airport.
And
yes, so that's my plantation. So I'm dealing with humans. Oh, dang.
That's right. And one of the things that I do to supplement my income is I substitute teach. If they're, in those in between times, in the meantime, because the bills still come calling, so I substitute teach. And so you're always going to have that. I mean, until you get to that, because truthfully, there's only like 1% of actors who, are the
really be making
the top tier.
Sit at home and know that, hey, whether I got a gig or not, my bills are still taken care of.
Exactly.
In that category.
And I think really quickly on that, and not to go into it too deep, but really quickly on that, I think you have to just define for yourself what successful is. You know what I mean? The success looks different for different people. So you need to figure out for yourself, what does success look like for me, and how do you attain that? How do you become happy within yourself and the things that you're trying to do? And I think with that, work-life balance, baby.
And that's the one thing I think I've always chosen jobs that do allow that. Like say when I worked for Delta, I've always maintained that if I'm going to do a plantation gig, 50%, my acting going to be right there too. Mm-hmm. So I'm not working no company that's not going to allow me to do my acting, or I don't feel like I would have the flexibility to do my acting. So and both American Express as well as Delta were both great companies that do really believe in work-life balance, especially American Express. Now, honey, American Express makes sure when you start with them, they give you 4 weeks of PTO from the start. They want to make sure that you're good. And they, and they offer a lot of mental health free programs to employees, nutritionists and things like that. So yeah, my work-life balance is good because I've always chosen, since it is a chosen thing that I've been called to do, I just make sure that I'm okay. Mm-hmm. And that means I'm allowed to do my acting with working, because I'm going to use some PTO to do a shoot now. That's for sure. PTO going to be used for it.
I know, that's right. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I substitute teach in between time, because with the substitute teaching, I can pick and choose which gigs I want, or if I even want to work. I oftentimes get the listing the night before, sometimes even early in the morning, and it's like, oh, you know what? I have a an acting gig or a writing gig or whatever today, so I'm not going to take something. Or I got bills coming up and I ain't had nothing in a couple weeks. Let me go on and let me go on and book something for a couple weeks now. Actually, does anybody need a sub for like a month?
Yes, indeed.
And then also, I also try
it's
to.
It's real in these acting streets, guys. It's real out here in these acting and voiceover streets.
Yeah, New York and rent and eggs and all that ain't cheap. So I also try to tie in my art, whereas my comedy, my writing, and again, just blessed that much like yourself, Arlene, just been in these entertainment streets for so long that now some of the fruits of our labor are starting to harvest.
Yeah. Because I've been out here and also in doing those plantation gigs and also doing the acting on the side, I have chosen not to like advance the corporate level. Mm-hmm. Because, the higher you go up on that corporate ladder, the more of your time and energy and everything else is expected to be given to the company. So by me choosing not to do that part has been a little bit hard, because that means I've chosen to stay lower, which means my checks have been lower. But that is the sacrifice I have been willing to pay in order to do acting. I've chosen to stay right about here, just enough to keep me above water, where I don't have to go all out of my way to give to the company, because I'm going to be doing this acting long when that company is gone.
Yeah. And I can totally relate on that. And, that I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. My oldest just graduated high school. So it's like, woo, that's great.
Yeah, he graduated high school and then a first grader.
And so I'm starting all over again. And so so I also have to be, very mindful in the gigs that I take, and the time that I put in. And also, yes, of course, like I'm trying to feed my art. So I don't want to put more energy into like subbing, and I love the kids. That's why I sub. And I used to be a full-time teacher. Then I want to put into my art. Talking about how we like to make sure that we, have a job that is going to be flexible and allow us to still pursue our art. But also, Arlene, I think you brought up a very important point about the sacrifice, though, and sacrificing, higher management or moving up the ladder of, the position that you're in order to, because it's more responsibility, it's more time, in order to make sure that you have that time and energy for your art. So it's a sacrifice.
Absolutely. It is a sacrifice.
And we were just talking about how we both have chosen to pursue plantation jobs, if you will, that allow us to still flourish in our art. That, and Arlene brought up a really great point about the sacrifice, though, purposefully not going higher or pursuing, higher in that plantation job, so that it doesn't affect the time, energy, and, and effort that you put into your own art.
Absolutely, because it is definitely, as I mentioned, a sacrifice. But it's a sacrifice, we're willing to make.
Exactly.
Like I stated, I'm too old to be couch surfing.
Yeah.
So I have to keep plantation kid.
Yeah.
I can't let me sleep on your couch while I practice. I'll pass that stage.
Yeah. So, and I got 2 kids.
So I'll take the sacrifice this way.
Exactly. Yeah. I have 2 kids. One just graduated. And then I have one that is going into first grade. So yeah, I guess I believe in starting over. Definitely second chances. And so, yeah, like I have to be very mindful and intentional about the gigs that I take and the time and that I put out, because I also want to make sure that I'm putting more into my art. Like, it all has to go back into that. So yeah, work-life balance, it can be challenging. It can definitely be challenging, but I think at the end of the day, like when we do these projects and stuff, like it's very fulfilling.
And it's really good. They are fulfilling, and it's great to have really good friends who, I do a little bit of writing and dabbling. Yeah, I write a little dabble, but it's really good to have friends who are really good writers, who do write shows and programs, like that person right there, and then they put you in it. So I need her to go head on and really get booked and busy. So I'm tired of auditioning. I just need to be put on. That's right, baby girl. Cheryl says, I'm currently looking for any plantation job. We need to keep the lights on to see the art we're creating. Absolutely, honey,
right.
absolutely.
Because it look different by candlelight than it does by... You know what I mean?
If you don't have candles, it just look different from the dark.
It does. And the dark, you can't see it at all. And the candlelight, it look different, you know, than the regular actual lighting that it's supposed to have. But yeah, I think, like, I am definitely not, we are never going to tell you, hey, quit this, go all the way, you know what I mean, and pursue, because we're too old for that. We're older, we're more mature, you know what I mean? Like, we have real lives. We're no longer in our late teens, 20s, where we can just, you know, be crazy and do all those things, you know? So any job that is going to help you pay the bills. If you've got to work like a 9 to 5, you know what I mean? And you want to write, for instance, then, hey, you're either writing late at night or you're writing early in the morning, but you're going to make that time for the things that you really want. And if you, and when you really want it, because it's also, you can want something, but not want it enough to actually put the effort into it. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure we've all been there, right? Like, I want to lose 30 pounds, but I ain't been to the gym acting like I want to lose 30 pounds. You know what I mean? So there are things that we want, but there are things that we're going to put the effort into. You know what I'm saying? So like, when you put effort in, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna make a way to put that time in, to get those new headshots, to write that script, to have that reading, to film that project, to make that song, to do whatever it is that is your passion, you know, to do that stand-up skit, hit those open mics, you're gonna make the time to do it.
And when she mentioned, when you said that stand-up open mic, let me tell you something. Sometimes you get too old for your calling. Back in the day, I did stand up for a little while. Actually, I was in between gigs when I was working in the music industry, and I lost my gig. I was doing radio video promotions, Capitol Records. I was with Capitol Records, and I was at EMI Records. And baby, when I wasn't working any longer, and my old boss there, Jean Riggins, bless her heart, she was like, "Girl, you know you're funny. You should do stand up." I was like, "Who? What?" So I never thought about doing stand up, but I was like, okay. So I started doing stand up for free at first. And then someone said, "Girl, you got to get at least car fare now. You know, you've been doing them little 5 minutes here and there." So, you know, you build, and then I started doing it a little while longer. Then I started going on the road with folks, and some of the people I was on the road with are really big time comedians now. But baby, mama likes to sleep. Like the show started at 12 or 1. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, that
to be in bed. Yeah. So yeah, I got a little too.
I have to drop the names in the sea of who's big now, honey.
I'm calling a stand-up because, honey, I was like, no, honey, I got to go to bed. So, as Kaili mentioned earlier, we never tell anybody to quit a job or anything like that. But I will say, if you are in a position where you can do this or put that hustle into this full time, like if you still at your mama house, at your daddy house, at your grandmama house, if you're still doing that and they're allowing you to go do you, then do that. I didn't have that luxury. I didn't have the luxury of, you know, still being at home and doing this. Because as soon as I graduated, I'm originally from Chicago. Hey, Chi-Town, West Side. But as soon as, you know, I graduated college, I was on the East Coast. I lived in DC for a while. Then I moved to New York when I was like, yeah, I really do think I want to pursue this. But I will say, when I first came to New York back in 1980, 87, 88, I didn't have a job. I didn't know anybody here. So I'm saying it can be done. I didn't know anybody here. I didn't have a job. All I knew, my high school drama teacher had mentioned to me, hey, if you have an out-of-state driver's license, you can always stay in rooms at the Y. So, but you know, I stayed at the YMCA, but baby, I stayed at one of the good Ys. I stayed at the YMCA over on 47th And between 3rd and 2nd or something, over that way, the Vanderbilt Y, over there in a good little area, right over there on the east side. But yeah, that's a whole nother book story right there, baby. But I hung in there because this is where I wanted to be.
Yeah,
this is where I wanted to be, and so I made that sacrifice and got my little hustle on. You know, I'm walking the street. I was still looking cute. Ain't had no job. And, you know, people in the wintertime, people like ringing their bell talking about, can you donate to the little Christians? I said, I wanted to say, baby, I need to be in that basket trying to get some of that money for myself.
Right.
But
I need a donation.
Yeah, I need a donation. But the thing is, if you do have the opportunity to do this full time, yeah, do it. Yeah. Do it.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't, there is always things that you can do in the meantime. Like, never feel like, or I invite you to never feel like away. You know what I mean? Because again, as a single mom, you know, there were definitely times when I was like, I don't have no sitter. I can't go out to these auditions, or I can't do this, and really delved like more into my writing, for instance. You know what I mean? It's like, because I can always sit at home and write, you know, for the most part. Like, yeah, he gonna be running around crazy, but you know, for the most part, you know, when he's sleeping,
and he does,
yeah, right? He definitely does. And you know, when he's sleeping, I'm a write. You know, so again, it's just finding those times. And when you really want it, you're gonna find a way and make a way. And also back to the networking, you know, use those resources.
Oh, good. I was ready to talk on that.
Use them resources because they're gonna help. They really are.
And find you a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Find your people.
Yes.
Find your people, because also let me tell you, this journey is not rah. Yes. Baby. There was some times like, look, I ain't I can't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
There are times that you want to say, yeah, I ain't doing this no more. But you find your people, because they will build you up.
Yes.
You know, there time, you know, you cry. I can't do this no more. I'm not doing this. I'm too old to be doing this. But then you know what? Because there are gonna be some dry seasons.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
there are
honey,
gonna be dry seasons for you. And those are the times you think, am I good enough? Mm-hmm. Is this what I'm supposed to, is this something I'm supposed to be doing? Mm-hmm. I thought this was my calling, but ain't nobody calling me. You know, you have those moments. Mm-hmm. But when you find your people, they'll lift you up. I don't know, you know, I'm not a big baby person. I don't hate kids. Let me get that clear. But I ain't no big baby person. But honey, Kaili, I always like when little baby was baby. Can you watch the baby while I go to this audition? Can I bring the boy? And you just find your people and you support each other. Mm. You support each other. Yeah. That's gonna be your biggest thing, is to find your people, because that support is very important. Because those are the people who know what you're going through and gives you that shoulder to cry on. And then after a while they say, okay, get it together. Yep. You got this. You are good enough. Mm-hmm. You are enough. Because there are days you are going to say, I'm not enough, and that's okay. But also understand you are enough.
Exactly. And then someone said, I wouldn't be able to pursue this if my parents weren't supporting me on my journey. Yeah.
That's a blessing.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And it shouldn't even, and there also shouldn't even be no shame in that. Because if other people can do it,
baby, I wish I had
other people can do it, they will do it too. Like, you know,
I'll support you while you do this.
For real.
Yes. But yeah, that is a blessing. Bonita Voice says, I'm between Atlanta and New York City. What are some good groups in New York? When I say groups, like Kaili and I work together. She's written stuff that I've done. It's just a circle that I found from being at auditions. We met through a play that she stage managed, or was the assistant writer to a play that I was doing for the writer. Didn't really see her that much, but we met from that. And then we just formed a group together. So they're readers groups. Are you actually based in New York right now, or in Atlanta? Because I don't know much about the Atlanta scene, except for most of the co-star roles that I actually booked. were shot in Atlanta. Go figure. But I made myself an Atlanta. I'll make myself an Atlanta local because my agent is also based in Atlanta too. So when I do say groups, I don't mean a specific like group. Oh, join this. I just mean your group of friends.
Yeah,
that you know are also on this same journey, because people who are not in this business don't understand it. Now, I don't know how many of you are people of color in the group out there, but I would tell you one thing, you know, like myself being an actor, everybody want to know when you gonna do Tyler Perry? When are you gonna? It's like
they think that we have Tyler on speed dial. And Tyler, like, put me hey Tyler, can you put me in your next thing?
They think, Arlene, when you gonna do Tyler? When you gonna do this? Baby, it's yeah. I feel you. So it's people who not in the business don't understand why you're not on TV yet, why you're not on Broadway yet, and why haven't they seen you in their favorite director show? You know, you're not doing something right if you're not in my favorite director show. So you're gonna get all of that, but baby, just block the noise and keep doing you. Mm-hmm. Right on. There are Black, white, Hispanic, right on. But that's what I mean, because, you know, I didn't know how many would know about the Tyler Perry, but, you know, Black folks are always talking, when you gonna do Tyler Perry? Right. So, but people who, and that's all I was just saying, that people who are in the business or people who know the business would be better to be and they're not gonna be the only ones, but they can understand what it is that you're going through, because they're going through it too.
And I think because they also mentioned that they're part of an accountability group in Atlanta, a VO studio. And I think that's dope. Like, I definitely think like taking classes, all like the classes that you take, definitely like, you know,
hook up with the people.
Yes, exactly. Like the people in class with you, teachers, these are your people, you know what I mean? And you want to, and some of us might be introverts, right? And some of us also might have jobs that are super early in the morning, or maybe they have kids and maybe you can't do the like after stuff. But I do want to point out that it's important. It's important to do the like, even if you don't drink, you don't got to have alcohol, you know, but it's important to do the like after stuff. Because I will say there was a time when I was doing Upright Citizens Brigade, which in New York is like the standard for if you want to be on SNL. And when I was doing it, I didn't do a lot of the after hour things because I couldn't, because I had a child. And I will say that a lot of people got on because of that. You know what I mean? And it didn't mean that they were more talented than me. It just meant that they could do the after work networking, you know what I mean? Or after class networking and things of that nature. And now it also doesn't mean that that's the only avenue to get there, you know what I mean? But I do just want to point out that the networking part of the business is important. It's extremely important.
And that's very hard for me, because as much as y'all see me chat. In big settings, I'm very introverted, for real. People don't believe that, but I really am. I really am introverted. So I personally don't do well. I don't network well for meeting new people initially, especially like, go to the thing, you know, the director such and such is going to be there. Well, I'm probably not going to walk up to him and say anything to him anyway, but I wish I did and could do that. But I personally am just not that person. So, you know, not all of us have that oomph to network, but it is a great thing. It's a skill I wish I did really could acquire, but I'm not good with networking or meeting new people, but I'm friendly.
I think it's important. I think it's important to be friendly. You know what I mean? Like, it's important to be a good person. It's important to be friendly so that people will want to get to know you or work with you, you know? Someone said, would you say that networking is a part of your booked and busy toolkit? I would say for me, yes, it is. But to Arlene's point, I would also say I don't go to everything. You know what I mean? I'm also very intentional and specific about the things that I do go out and support. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to support my people. If Arlene has a show, I'm there. You know what I mean? If I'm not booked myself, then I'm there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I'm glad she threw that in there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Then I'm there. Only because recently we had something where I had on the books I was going to support her, and then I ended up and so I wasn't able to. But it's always love. But like for our circle, like I love our circle because we're so supportive. When someone has something going, like we all try to show up. We'll secret group chat without them, and hey, let's go. We want to support and show up in any way that we can. I know we're getting down to the wire, and so now we definitely want to talk about something super important, and that's self-care. Self-care, like sustaining in this business can be hard, but it's so detrimental to do your self-care. So Arlene, how do you do your self-care? What does that consist of?
Okay, my self-care is fairly new, and I'm perfectly honest. I'm not the I'm not the spa girl. I'm not, not to have pretty people who do spas and get themselves back. I can eat and I like to sleep. That's my self-care. But more recently, though, I have, I do swim. And so I have gotten back into swimming and going as I've gotten older. I'm like, these knees start to crinkle a little bit. So I've also just recently taken up skating.
Hey.
Roller skating.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes. So if you see me around the rink, I'm the one with the little pusher thing there. Oh yeah, that's me.
Pusher.
The little wheel thing that the little kids have. You have to start
like really pusher. All right.
Yeah,
well, you know what?
You get your
self-care. We support. We listen and we don't judge.
Right. So that's something I have started, but no, I do try to as I've gotten older, and I wish I have really did this more when I was younger, is that I'm starting to eat better. Because as you do age or get older, things do start to change. But I really wish, so if you are someone of a younger age, change that eating habit. And I'm like say do some sort of workout. Get your body moving, because when your body moving, your mind is open. Go outside. I like my self-care is to get on a plane and travel too. I like beaches. I like visiting islands. I like trying new foods, and I like meeting new people, just not maybe necessarily networking with them. I like meeting people, so I do like to travel. And to me, that's my good form of self-care, to be on the plane and knowing I'm landing somewhere where I can just chill.
Yeah, no, I love that. I too am a foodie. So yes, good food. Oh, good food is definitely for me a form of self-care. Like I have favorite restaurants. I have specific things that I get. I love it. I love that you said go outside. I love nature. Like, yes, go touch grass, go do something. It's funny because when I was younger, we used to do like hikes. Like my uncle
never stayed inside.
Yeah, right. Like exactly, never did. We also didn't have internet the same way that we have now too. So I take that into account. But my uncle used to organize these like hikes every year, and recently I've gotten back into like hiking and just being in nature. I also I'm Afro-Indigenous. I grew up on the res in Mashpee. And so I'm used to like being around nature and being in the concrete jungle of New York for as long as I've been there now. I think it's going on like 13 years. When I'm in nature, I do miss it. And I'm like, oh yes, trees and greenery. So I do love that. And traveling. Yes, I'm trying to get stamps in the passport, honey. Traveling is definitely a form of my self-care. And then sometimes, honestly, I have a lot of energy. I'm a very big energy person. Like, I like to consider myself a light. I mean, you are too, Arlene. Like, you also have a lot of big energy. And for me, sometimes I have to just be by myself.
I was going to say I have calm energy. Kaili have rah.
I do. Mine is go. Yes, mine is go. But so for me,
I spend a lot of time by myself too, though.
Yeah, like I have to reload. Like recharge the battery. And sometimes that's just me by myself listening to music or watching a good movie. Yes, you brought up exercise. Yes, the gym. Sometimes I can just walk on the treadmill and just walk. I don't have to run. I don't have to jog. Just walk, put my music on, and zone out. Like,
yeah, and like I say, not everybody have the opportunity, or not the opportunity. Not everybody want to go to the gym and work out, but just do some type of movement. I know everybody say just work out, but that's pretty much it, because other than that, I would be sitting here and I'll be Netflixing and chilling.
Yep.
Netflix and chill, and because I do work with the public a lot, I'm around people all day long. Mm-hmm. So I do like to just come home and for real chill and lay on this couch sometimes.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Honestly, when we're done, I would love to just like go upstairs and lay down, but I know I can't because my kids are gonna.
You have a kid. So I go upstairs and lay down. I just have me.
I'll be in mummy mode, but that's okay because school is back in session very soon, and school bedtimes are being reinforced again. So we do have that. So that's.
But I also like to tell anybody out there listening, if you did have any, other questions or, just had some other thoughts about something, you guys can find me on Instagram. I'm at The Real Diva, TherealDiv as in Victor A, The Real Diva. Make sure if you DM me, just make sure this way you say you knew me from, because baby, I don't be on there that much, but I will exit out in a minute. Oh, I don't know that person. But no, right, but because we may not be able to get to all your things here, because I we are winding down and everything. But yeah, you can find me on therealdiva.com. And as my niece of them say, I am still on Facebook under my name. My niece of them say that's for old folks. But,
darn kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And what's the do you have anything coming up that anybody can look out for? I know we mentioned laundry is making the circuit.
Yes, I don't know. If you're in Detroit, you can catch it at the Detroit Film Festival on September 25th. We are going to be the opening. We are opening their festival. The film is going to be the opening night premiere for the festival there. And like I say, October 16th here in New York. And if you follow me on Instagram, I do place my information, my shows and things on Instagram. So the next thing I do have coming up is the one act piece that I'm going to be doing on October 16th out in Brooklyn.
Nice. So definitely make sure you check out Arlene on Instagram, on Facebook, on all the things. Also, I do believe it's www.arlenemcgruder.com, right?
Not A. McGruder, just Arlene McGruder.
Oh, arlenemcgruder.com. And then for myself, I'm also on the apps. So Instagram.
Kaili on every app that's
happening. And probably most active on Instagram. So on Instagram, I am at Madam Starlight, and that's MADAMN Starlight, STARLIGHT. Also on Facebook, the old folks page, Kaili Turner, KAILI Turner, right here on the screen. Y'all can see it. Why am I reading that? And then I also have a website, www.kailiturner.com. And for me, the next thing that I have coming up, I do not remember the exact dates off the top of my head, but the Nosebleed play, going back on tour, as I mentioned earlier, will be in Seattle for a week in November. I want to say around the 8th. And then we'll be in Japan, so if we're in Tokyo, we'll be doing Tokyo the week of November 16th. So prior to that, yes, is Seattle. And then other than that, please stay on the lookout for Sheen the Musical, which is a musical that I wrote that Arlene is also in, which is a reimagining.
Good to have friends in high places.
Exactly, which is a reimagining of Grease from the perspective of the Black students integrating Rydell High. And we will be putting out a GoFundMe campaign soon. We're trying to raise funds to do that in full production in New York. And hey, if you're interested, we also want to bring it to a city near you. So sponsor, donate, look out for that. And Sheen the Musical is also on Instagram, and that's Sheen, SHEEN. And other than that, man, thank y'all so much. I want to give a huge shout out to you, Arlene. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise today on behalf of Building Doors. We and I, you already know, I appreciate you, girl. Building Doors. Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you guys for having me, for Kaili for hosting this, and also for Building Doors VO for allowing me to be on here and to express these crazy thoughts. This has been really great, and I really do appreciate it. And I will say, for those of you in New York, you can also catch Laundry at the Newark Film Festival, which would be September 2nd through the 7th. You can catch it at the Newark Film Festival as well.
Yeah, so please, if you're out there, please go support. I'm excited. I will definitely be checking it out myself. And of course, big shout out to everybody that joined us live, especially commented, asked questions, gave us your commentary. It was so great to like receive the energy right back. Thank you so much. And if you want to support the campaign, buy us a coffee, like, you know, other people have, like Paul V just did. You know, go buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/buildingdoors to donate. And if you want to become a 2026 door builder and revoice a spot originally voiced by a man, submissions will be open. Whatever. Submissions will be open.
She digress.
September 10th through the 24th. And make sure to look for how to submit via the social media channels. And remember to keep these conversations going. Call 216-307-1917 anytime to leave us a short voicemail with your thoughts on today's discussion, because we definitely want to hear it. And with the Building Doors campaign.
Yeah. And thank you for the comments on my earrings and my glasses.
Of course, and the glasses. Like I said, the fashionista is nistaing. And of course, don't miss out on the next live event, LinkedIn Live with Sandy Harrison Cooksey, and the topic is Business Flow. It's September 10th at noon Eastern Time on LinkedIn. Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you got some gems, wrote them down, took your notes, and feel free to follow us on the socials and reach out for more.
Thanks for listening to the Building Doors podcast. Want to hear more? Check out all our episodes at buildingdoorsvo.com/podcast and follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at Building Doors VO. We'd love to hear from you, so call us on our 24/7 hotline at 216-307-1917 and leave us a voicemail with your thoughts. Do you want to support the podcast? Well, we love coffee. Buy us a cup through the link in the description or at buildingdoorsvo.com. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep speaking up, and let's keep building doors together.